On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Standing strong on the bridge tonight. We've got dreams and we got fight. Voices loud in the city's light. Change is coming into sight. History told by scars and pain. Echoes deep in every name. Legal truths we must reclaim. Through the storm and through the rain. Thorough black talk review. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah. Justice calls from open skies. Tears that fall, ain't no disguise. Marching forward, no surprise. Strengthen hearts, you can't downsize. Every voice a sweet refrain. In this fight we share the strain. Through the joy and through the pain, bound together like a chain. Thorough black talk review. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah.
Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with Sister Keisha, Brother Tad, Brother Blacksmith, and Sister Marcia will be joining us in a little while. We also going to have with us later on, Sister Brooke will be joining us as we have to discuss what transpired during the New York State Reparations Committee meeting that took place all the way up in Rochester, New York, boy. So I'm tired, for real. I'm tired. I haven't slept. I slept like 4 hours in 3 days. I'm so tired. So we're going to log off on time tonight because I got to go to bed, for real. But while the crew gets ready, let me give some shout outs real quick. I'm also operating on a different computer. So if the sound is off or something is wacko, y'all let me know, because this is I switched from my Mac to my PC because I had to rush in here. But anyway, shout out to Sister Donna, Brother Kerwin, Birmingham, Alabama on the check-in. What's good? Big Ma, what it do, brother? What it do? K Rush 409 Philly by way of Far Rock in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, UAM finest in the building, Suffolk County. Let's get it. Sister Aruba 927, Doggy Diamond TV mods in the building. Gotta show love, family. Please like and subscribe, not only to us, but to Doggy Diamonds TV, any OG Wisdom podcast. We will definitely appreciate you for doing that. Rich, nice. Callie on the check-in. What's good, brother? Hope all is well with you. Farnessa, Alabama State in here. Heavy family. What's good, sis? Buckle up. It's going to be a ride, sis. It's going to be a ride. We got a lot to discuss. Also, I want to give a shout out to Wayne, OG, Big Hop in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing? Lisa, I know you want to check in. I know you in the background. Uh-oh. Taz Jackson. Y'all already know what it is. Is Sean with you? Because I've been missing the number lately. You know, I think he put the whammy on you. I'm going to hide that. That's between us. Brother Leonard, Harlem finest in the building. What's good, brother? Brother Leonard, you definitely got to pull up to the next reparations hearing committee meeting, because we need all conscious voices on deck. Outside of Sister Brooke, myself, and Brother King Tremaine, I believe that's his name, his X space name. Anyway, we were the only ones with some common damn sense. You know, it was a lot of flim flam and, you know, talking foolishness up there. But let me get off my soapbox for a minute. Let's get the crew on the deck. Brother Tad, OG Wisdom Podcast in the building. What's good, brother?
Peace, family. What's the word, sis?
It's crazy. It's crazy, brother. We got a rough one tonight. So everybody better buckle up and put your feelings in your back pocket, all right? Put your feelings in your back pocket tonight. Oh, he ain't with you? All right, good. All right. Yes. Brother, you had to see what was happening. Oh, also, I want to give a shout out to the fam, Disco Bob. What's up, Disco Bob? I know you be on the check-in. What's happening? So, happy belated birthday to Disco Bob, too. So, we got to rock out. So, Brother Tad, what's been going on? We in the black tonight, brother. What's been going on?
Oh, man. You know, just having conversations centered around the politics and why I don't support Democrats and things like that. And I'm like, you know, people talking about Trump getting at Zelensky. I'm like, yo, he G-checked him like a G is supposed to. You coming up, you got your hands out, at least humble yourself. It's a level of humility you have to have. And I keep telling people, it ain't like I'm caping for Trump or nothing, but the Dems is on too much foolishness. I said, I'm not supporting transgender. In fact, a coworker asked me today, what does everybody have against trannies? Like, I was like, my dude, is you serious? I said, ain't nobody going to the bathroom with my daughters, and definitely ain't playing sports so they could beat on my daughters. Is you kidding me? I said, dudes can't make it with men, so they go get into women's sports. And we said this years ago, right, sis? That alternative lifestyle is the real misogynist. When I learned what the word misogynist was, I was like, come on, that sounds like gay men. If you ask me, hate women, despise them, I love women, particularly black women. Actually,
that's right.
Black women. But it's all playing itself out, because now they just throwing a dress and some lipstick. I don't know if I told you, like a couple of months ago, I was in a city and I saw this full-grown Urugu. It had to be like 6'something. Like 6'3" or something, big dude with a full beard and a full made-up face. When you say his face was beat, but he had a beard. Sis.
Like Saucy Santana?
Yeah, some wild stuff. But
shout out to Spice for going in on him.
Yeah,
good job, Spice. Good job.
I heard about that. I said I got to check that out, because there's so much going on. Me and Doggy was just kicking it. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds.
Yeah.
And him was just on the phone tonight, just talking about just the state of the world right now, where we at with so much stuff. And we don't even got much to really compliment our folks on right now because our folks is acting foolish.
Yes.
As my grandmother used to say, purity fool.
Ain't got no goddamn good sense.
For
What's
real.
wrong with you? But the thing is, too, Brother Tad, you know, people are so mind controlled.
Yes.
And they don't understand that these political parties, in particular the Democrats, is a cult. It
It's
is a cult. They have people attacking other folks. Joy Reid wanted you to leave your spouses, boy, leave your family. If
yeah.
they don't vote
You don't
Democrat.
Mala, don't give them none. Wake up. And people, yo, Sister Keisha.
It's always people who don't get none will tell you some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah. But that ass, I lost so many people I really thought was friends. Women I've protected, women who know I would put my life on the line for. And I said, yo, it shows, to your point, minds of control, shows how immature people are because we can't even have political discord. And none of these people really read like that, to tell you the truth. They don't even read. They more concerned about their hair and their makeup than what's really going on in the world. You seen, what was it? Representative Al Green acted the fool up in Congress. Keep talking about they want to cut Medicaid. And I'm telling people like, yo, I work in that field. It's not cut Medicaid. It's not cut.
Nobody Medicaid got cut.
He's just not supporting that for children and trannies. That's cosmetic surgery. They call it gender affirming surgery. Nah, that's cosmetic surgery. Anytime you
long.
your body, that's cosmetic surgery. So I could go in and say I don't like my nose, shape it like Michael Jackson's or something, raise my cheekbones like let's be for real. It's cosmetic surgery, and
Right.
we as taxpayers are paying for that. So he's cutting that, but they were like, oh, he want to cut health care for your grandmother. No, because my grandmother know who she is. She's pretty certain that she gave birth to children and that her children gave birth to children. She ain't with none of this goofy stuff everybody talking. But this is how they piss in the pool. They convolute the conversation. He want to cut services for that foolishness over there, and they were like, "Oh, he want to cut Medicaid. He want to cut food stamps." Everybody like he want to get rid of Black History Month. I said, "Well, go to WhiteHouse.gov. He made a proclamation that every February is going to be recognized as Black History Month." Oh, he ain't inviting them, all them Black people who supported him. He inviting them to the White House. He was up in the White House, but it wasn't
It's
no
ridiculous.
It wasn't.
It's crazy.
Just the lies that people make. And I always say, the moment you start lying, you weaken your argument. You could be 100% right. You could be 100% right. But the moment you start lying on people, you lose all credibility and you weaken your argument. If somebody make a point within the argument, give it to them. Say, all right, I'll give you that point. But this is still my position. I hear what you're saying, and that's a valid point, but I still don't agree with it because I'm over here with it. Stand on your square. Everybody just trying to rock the boat, sis, and it's upsetting.
Yeah.
Because as you and I was talking in the group chat, like with the British people coming at Black Americans, it's like, yo, all of y'all are trying to come at us. What y'all cosplaying us?
Oh, are you talking about the British Nigerian chick who said they got soul food? Is that what you're talking about?
One of many. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, her too. Yes, her too. Talking about British people. Soul food isn't exclusive to Black Americans. We have, y'all don't. Y'all sipping on tea and crumpets. Get out.
And beans and bread.
Yeah. Yo, Sister Keisha, when I went to Ghana, man, told them I wanted some beef or turkey sausage and eggs for breakfast. With Franks and beans. I said, what's this? This is just us. This is fucking Franks and beans. This is not. I'm like, yo, but of course, imitating that British thing. Because I eat French fries and they talk about potato chips. We don't focus
with no seasoning and all grease.
Well, I ain't gonna front. The Ghanaian people could cook. I ain't eat no British food, but I mean the mannerisms, the things that they call food. We have soul food. from the mac and cheese to the candy yams to the collard greens to the ribs back when I ate ribs. But I tell people I don't eat pork, but from what I remember, pork tasted good. If you want, pork tasted good. But I got a level of discipline. I don't have to eat it no more. I don't. But when I did, it was delicious.
Right? But the thing is, let me see. Sister Mar, you ready? Sister Marcia, Africans on the rise in the building. What's good, sis? How are you?
Peace, family. Happy Blacktastic Thursday.
Hey, sis.
Everybody. Tell me all about upstate. I want to hear all about it. I want to hear all the good juice or bad juice. Brother Tad, good to see you again.
Thank you. Yes. You
and Third Black Family, how y'all doing?
We're gonna get into that. I'm trying to get Sister Brooke in here. She said something was wrong with her browser, so I'm trying to send her a different type of link. Hopefully that'll work to get her in here, because we definitely got to get into it. And I was so livid. You know, that was like a 13, 14-hour trip. That's number one. You know what I mean? And well, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. See if she can get in here. I'm gonna save it for now. But going back to President Donald Trump, Tad, you know, people were in an uproar, or still, if I say, still in the uproar of the dismissal of various federal workers from their places of employment within the U.S. government. And as we said last week, this is what happens in the private sector every day. Every day. The thing is, y'all been coddled too long. Yes. Under union protection and all kind of stuff. We don't got that out in the real world. So, you know, knock it off. Some people jobs do overlap. I have dealt with federal government entities on a business level and had a horrible experience. I had to tell one girl who, I guess their printer wasn't working, but she and her manager or supervisor, whatever it was, neither one of them realized that a fax machine could also make copies. But I'm just saying, we have to wait for IT. In my industry, you would have been fired just saying that stupid stuff. So, but anyway, people forget about America's first Black president, Bill Clinton.
Shout out to Harlem.
He's a part of Harlem world now. Good luck, y'all. But anyway, so people forget that he cut almost 400,000 federal jobs to cut spending, and he balanced the budget, left with a surplus. Now, where's that energy? It's no energy because the Democrats are a cult. I'm telling y'all, it's a cult. And you've been a part of it for years. Your mama, your daddy, your grandparents, all a part of a cult. And you got the nerve to twist your lips about people who got succumbed or who were succumbed to Jim Jones.
Yeah.
You are no different. You are, it was crazy. And then, you know, the other commentary, Brother Tad, that people were mad because I think J.D. Vance during President Trump's speech the other night, he ushered the sergeant at arms to make sure order was, maintained because people was going on tangents. But to be fair and to be honest, this is a usual tactic of the Republicans. They do the same thing. Yeah. So I'm saying, when the hands flip, why is it a problem? And they look ridiculous, especially when they did not stand for young DJ.
Oh my God.
That really bothered me. He's a baby. And a black baby. So, and you can't stand for this baby?
And a cancer survivor.
Oh my God. Tad, I was so livid to see Maxine Waters' hard wig and that Crockett girl was driving me insane. Let's take a look at this clip, family. We'll come right back and we'll discuss.
Asking our new Secret Service director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
You know, and to not people show this young brother love is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And I watched his interview. I'll try to pull it up, but I watched his interview, young DJ Daniels, and he said he was shocked. He said, I was so shocked. He said, my heart almost fell to the floor. That's what he said. And his daddy is a cowboy. Love it. Love it. You better get into it.
And his daddy is in his life. And you know what's funny, right, Sister Keisha? With all of those families that were there, notice the black family was led by the black man.
Mm-hmm.
All the other families, the white families, and it was the daughters and the son and mom was there. But that was the representation of a strong black father being in his son's life, not abandoning his child like popular narratives will go. And especially the Republicans could stand on that because historically they're supposed to be the racist group that hate black people. And they just showed, again, the black family in the right light. You know, and what was so sad, I wish they would have showed the Democrats just sitting there. This wasn't about Trump. This was about this young black man who already beat the odds. He could have passed away when he was 6, 7 years old, but here he's still going strong and getting honors bestowed upon him and being supported by a black father who they always say is missing. It's so multi-layered with that right there. This is why Democrats are losing support. And it's not just this election. It was the election before this one, the ones before this. It's constantly been on a downslope for a decade. People haven't been supporting the Democrats. Even Obama's second term, that's when people really seen it. And then when Joe Biden told everybody, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Whoa, my dude. And of course, Sister Keisha, you saw Lindsay Lee.
Yes.
Spill all of the beans, all of the tea.
All the tea on the Democratic Party.
September, November. She's like, I just stopped raising money for them. Oh my goodness. Because Sister Marcia, she's a donor. She's an Asian donor. And she's like, she's rich. She's like, she didn't get.
I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it. And she was just, saying all the things that as us, we know in terms of, the ward money, right? Giving out money to political officials to get people to the voting booth and telling them to vote in a particular manner, and the corruption in that, because there is no paper trail with that fund. So how do we know the ward, quote unquote, of that community isn't pocketing all the money? But yeah, he's giving, say they gave $10. He's taking 8 and using 2 for the community work. So we know the level of corruption. We know it from the Martin Luther King's papers that Keisha had read over with us of, oh, this is how we're going to bribe the people in the pulpits. This is what we're going to do. We know the information. We just continually refuse to act against it. Not we on this panel, we listening, but we as a community, we just don't want to act right and talk about the corruption as it lies. Like, there's a political person in my community now, went to jail for corruption, has come out, and now is running again for the same seat. And everybody is just like, he's like, oh, can I get your signature, sister, for the petition? I'm not a Democrat. Oh, wait, sister, I gotta go. I'm not entertaining you with dialogue, sir. Sir, you went to jail for corruption. It's like people don't even want to talk about it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Definitely. Shout out to the BK William Mackey History Club. He says the event last night is up on YouTube. So I'll show that. This is going to be a continuous thing because I'm trying to get our elders more immaculated, or if you will.
Yes.
Immaculate.
Get them up to date.
With technology.
Yes.
So we're going to try to have a monthly class. Even for you younger folks who ain't too savvy, you can sign on, because I'm tired of going back to kindergarten when I have a doctorate degree to carry y'all along, and it's bothering me. It's bothering me to no end. So anyway, so let's look at Jasmine Crockett. I call her Tiki Taki. Now she done picked up Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance, and you should be passing legislation drafting better bills for reparations instead of having overdrawn weave and big ass eyelashes and doing the ad girl, city girl stuff down halls of Congress. You look crazy, and you're an attorney. Don't hire her. Don't y'all hire her. You going to jail. You are going to jail. You will lose your business. Whatever it is, whatever practice she in, stay away from it. Stay away from it. But these crazy talking points, they just throw things that, and I think her name is Linda Lee, right? Am I right? Or Lindsay?
Lindsay Lee.
Lindsay Lee. Okay. She's the one who outed how much was spent during the Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. She broke down on Pat Ben David's show, dollar for dollar, how they was getting paid, who's sleeping with who, yeah. How they are trained to attack people who disagree with them. It's the same method that the trans use. No solid argument or foundation, just attack. So we're going to play this, and then we're going to get our brother Black in here. I see he finally got it together. We're going to get him in here. But let's play this, and we'll come right back with Black.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
You could tell Donald Trump anything tonight. What would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
Stop the ghetto gospel.
Shout out the ghetto gospel.
Yeah, he be going in. I love him. He be going in on everybody. I love it. I love his shit. Let's get our brother Black. Bring the Bronx in here on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's good, brother Anunnaki? What's happening?
Before I go in, how's the levels?
You can come down.
How about now?
Still loud.
Okay, on my computer, I'm halfway down. How is it now?
Go all the way down.
Damn. I'm not going to be able to hear y'all then.
See, that's the problem. You're using it for hearing and speaking. So that's
Can you?
why
How's the level now?
it's down because I'm turning it down on my end, but that's difficult for me to do and still program the show.
Okay, well, I mean, if I'm too loud, I'm gonna have to put headphones in. Come back to me in a minute. I'm good. I'm gonna look for the headphones.
Okay, I'm gonna pull you out.
You know.
Yeah. So anyway, did I turn myself back up or I'm still low?
No, we can hear you loud and clear, sis.
Okay, great. So, yeah, Tiki Taki, that's what I call her, cause and look how she's
a mess.
You know,
she's just a hot mess.
Ooh, I want her constituents, please put it out there. We want her constituents.
To face her community versus trying to be this, she's trying to be famous. And unfortunately, they're giving her a lot of ad libs to be famous and not to really look towards her community and do the community work. Like, great, you didn't know you were fighting here. You didn't know you were fighting here. Hey, we've been at war since forever. And because you want to ignore the fact that Black folks are at war and now white folks are creating their own war, that's your problem. But we shouldn't have to, your constituents, your Black constituents that probably voted you in shouldn't have to face your traumas and you acting like, homegirl down the block versus a representative of me. Like if she was my representative, I would have to write her a letter.
But you know what, Sister Marcia, the sad part, right, is in the Democrats' attempt to connect with the common people, they adopt this ratchetness, this city girl behavior, and they're supposed to represent the best of Blackness, particularly for Black women, since that's the catalyst right now. Support Black women.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what Sister Keisha was talking about, because I can't wait to hear about the trip upstate, because it's not just her, it's those who support the behaviors.
That's right. That's why they had who's that girl? Who's that naked girl? Who's that naked girl singing for Kamala? Why? Because you don't, and we as Black women aren't respecting ourselves because most of us are clapping back like, yeah. And those like me are like not being heard.
Yep.
I hear you.
Agreed, sis. 100,
brother.
Loud and clear. Brother Black, what you sound like?
What it look like? What it sound like?
Sound like you had an 88 block.
A little bit better. Lenore said take it down to 15%.
Okay. Then I won't be able to hear y'all, but is it okay? Is it better? Is it tolerable? No?
Because it's not the speakers, it's the microphone that you gotta look.
Okay, I can't control that. I'm on a computer.
You have to get an external mic.
Make sure you be available for the next Zoom computer class, because it's a way for you to do both on your phone.
Yeah. Okay, on the phone. Okay. Well,
right?
In your computer, you could go inside the settings and then
I did. That's where I'm changing the volume at in the computer, not on
the mic.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
On the mic. Okay.
Wait. Are you using a phone and a computer?
No, I'm using the computer. I'm not on no phone.
Are you watching an episode or have something live while you're doing it?
No, I'm on the show. That's it.
Yeah, and since you're on a computer, there's definitely a way to control your input and output mics.
Okay, let me look for that. I'll come back. I'll wait. I'll wait when I figure it out. Let me try to figure it out.
All right, brother, you got it. No problem. So while he try to get that kink word down, he gonna be in the class too. He gonna have him in the class too. So I was showing, some of our elders a lot of things we can do with technology now. And it's very difficult for us to be progressive in our fight against these folks around here and for reparations, that they stay abreast of everything. Because a lot of older folks were there yesterday and they would I wanted to sock them because I was so angry because, I have my older aunts and uncles. They don't talk like that. Who the hell are you people? Like, who raised y'all? and you raise people, oh my God, they probably the ones out here burning people on the train. Because I mean, this is nuts. The things we heard yesterday was mind blowing, but we lost some great entertainers. And I need Brother Black in here because he has a piece on Roy Ayers. So rest in peace to Roy Ayers. He said, yeah. So you got it ready? You got it ready, Black?
I sound now.
Oh, it's better.
There you go. What you did, Black? What you did?
I went into the settings as opposed to the volume on the microphone. So, Sister Keisha, I ain't got to take your class no more.
No, you're still going to need to take the classes because you need some development.
Okay, Marcy, I was kidding. Okay, you're going to start with me right now. Okay.
I'm giving you all the love because, you know, you part of that elder crew.
Oh, man. I'm not the oldest one on this show, by the way. You are.
No, I'm sorry.
See, there you go. Tad, get her, Tad. Now I'm giving y'all permission to start early, an hour early today with the arguing.
There's no argument there.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done then.
May I ask my elders for permission to speak?
Brother Black, we recently lost great musical genius Roy Ayers.
When did Roy Ayers pass?
Yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I put it on the blog and tagged you. See, I'm gonna start saying I'm gonna start tagging you, not tagging.
This is why Black has to take the class. We ain't on Facebook like that.
Word.
That's the thing. We're not. So you see what I'm saying? How many of us is on Facebook like that? Raise your hand. And there you have it. So that's why. So see, you taking a class. But anyway,
your crew.
That's how many people on.
That's the seniors' motive.
But anyway, go ahead, Brother Black. We got some info for us. So go
okay,
ahead,
well, the how I would start this segment is saying, I'm surprised y'all never played his song. We Live in Brooklyn.
Of course.
Well, I ain't never heard y'all play it on this station. On my blog.
We can't.
What you said, Tad?
We're gonna get flagged and.
Right, we play original.
I know.
We can't do that. Well, go ahead, brother.
But on my favorite song of his, by the way, was this not This Side of Sunshine. You Send Me. Beautiful song. If you ever have somebody you really, really love, dedicate that song to them, especially at this time after his passing. For those of you out there who are a little younger than Marcia, the way to get to know Roy Ayers, other than his biggest hit song to me, was Running. Chart-wise, I believe that was his most popular song. You still hear it all the time in parties, at least in New York. I don't know about other places in the country, but the way to get to know him and know his greatness, Erykah Badu defined him as the father of neo soul, and not because he was the best musician or the best or most popular. Let me not say best, because that's best is whoever you feel is best, but because his music had a certain vibe and only could be described as soul, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? His music was rich and lush, and for the most part backed by something. I don't know if he invented it or if he popularized it, by an instrument that you rarely hear about called the vibraphone. So he was a very important part of that early, maybe even late 60s. He was 85 as of his passing. His birthday was in September of 1940. And I've had the pleasure of speaking with him a few times. A beautiful man from every account that I've seen. He was always about his business. He did a lot of charity things. I know I went to a few events. I kind of helped the sister organize an event he was at. He started the show and he got out of there because he had other stuff to do. Beautiful guy. We gonna miss another big one, and I'm kind of like wondering who's next in light of losing Irv Gotti and Roberta Flack, another big one.
Let's not forget Angie Stone.
Yeah, well, of course, I was going to say, I'm trying to do it in order, so I get everybody. And even Gene Hackman, who's two of my favorite movies that he made. And this is all on my blog. If you go check it out, I'll give the tagline after I finish this little segment. Gene Hackman, because of movies like No Way Out and Enemy of the State. So those are two movies. If you into action movies or suspense movies, that are great movies, well acted, all star studded. Both of those movies, Gene Hackman, starting with the Streets of San Francisco. That movie or the one that was filmed in Brooklyn where he was a cop, Popeye Doyle. I don't remember the name of that movie exactly. But he was a great actor, in other words. Say he died at 95, so most of his peak was probably in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Great actor. Check him out. I put a blog up. I've been putting blogs up the last 3-part series called The Industry. And it started with Angie Stone's demise. It's obvious that was a sacrifice when you look into it a little deeper. And then, Gene Hackman had a house, was neighbors with Epstein in New Mexico where he died, and with Oprah in Washington State or British Columbia, one of them places up in the Northwest. And he was about to snitch because he was tired of it. He wasn't with it. He wasn't part of that. And he was about to tell, and that's why they put him out. These put his lights out. So if you want to go check this stuff out and see for yourself what I'm talking about, that's melaninstitute.blogspot.com. And I'm done with this little piece. Sister Keisha, back to you.
Thank you. Somebody said, I think it was Sister Vera. She says Angie Stone's passing really hit her, and she had recently did an interview about how Universal, I believe it was robbing her bread, and she definitely was a legend as well. Yeah, as far as hip hop is concerned, especially, what the first female MC to touch the mic. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that great musicians and creators of art are transitioning. At the same time, there is so much garbage that is being put out. I don't listen to mainstream radio, so I alleviate myself from that. But it's just insane. You know what I mean? But we gotta move on. So something I wanted to tell y'all, we talked about it last week, or I mentioned it last week. Some commentary that was made by Marcus Messiah Garvey in one of his speeches, right? So I said that, he made it very plain that the Negro here in the United States was the supreme, period. I mean, but I'm gonna pull it up. Tag on the book right there. I got mine too, right here. We'll be playing. We about it over here. So if you have it, and the name of the book, let me see. Selected Writings and Speeches of Marcus Messiah Garvey. We are going to look at pages 14, 15, and 16 because I think it's critical, because a lot of things are being spewed on social media by a lot of folks, and it's problematic. I see Sister Brooke trying to get it together. She almost got it. You almost got it, sis. But let's read a speech of an interview that he gave. And it's entitled, West Indies in the Mirror of Truth. The Negroes of the West Indies have been sleeping for 78 years and are still under the spell of Rip Van Winkle. This is from the Champion magazine, Chicago, January 1917. Now, he says, I have been in America 8 months. My mission to this country is to lecture and raise funds to help my organization, the Universal Negro Improvement Association of Jamaica, to establish an industrial and educational institute to assist in the educating the Negro youth of that island. I am also engaged in the study of Negro life in this country. I must say at the outset that the American Negro ought to compliment himself as well as early prejudice of the South for racial progress made in 50 years. and for the discriminating attitude that had led the race up, up to the high mark of consciousness, preserving it from extinction. I feel the Negro who has come in touch with Western civilization is characteristically the same. And but for the environment, there would be no difference between the two, right? This is what he's saying. The honest prejudice of the South was sufficiently evident to give the Negro of America a real start. The start with race consciousness, which I am convinced is responsible for the state of development already reached by the race. A Fred Douglass or Booker Washington never would have been heard of in American national life if it were not for the consciousness of the race in having its own leaders. In contrast, the West Indies has produced no Fred Douglass or Booker T. Washington. After 78 years of emancipation, simply because the Negro people of that section started out without a race consciousness. Let me say that again.
Say it again, sis.
Negro people of that section started out without a race consciousness. Now, this is one of the reasons why I say they don't belong in politics here. And you can clearly see it. They don't belong in politics here. They don't belong in this reparations movement either. But we'll get to that. I have traveled a good deal through many countries, and from my observation and study, I unhesitantly and unreservedly say that the American Negro is the peer of all Negroes, the most progressive, and the foremost unit in the expansive chain of scattered Ethiopia. Industrially, financially, educationally, and socially, the Negroes of both hemispheres have to defer to the American brother, the fellow who has revolutionized history in race development, inasmuch as to be able within 50 years to produce men and women out of the immediate bond of slavery, the latches of whose shoes many a favored son and daughter has been unable to loose. As I traveled through the various cities, I have been observing with pleasure the active part played by the Negro men and women in the commercial and industrial life of the nation. In the cities I have already visited, which include New York, Boston, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Washington, and Chicago, I have seen commercial enterprises owned and operated by the Negro people. I have seen Negro banks in Washington and Chicago, stores, cafes, restaurants, theaters, and real estate agencies that fill my heart with joy to realize in positive truth and not by sentiment that at one center of Negrodom, at least the people of the race have sufficient pride to do things for themselves. The acme of the American Negro enterprise is not yet reached. You still have far way to go. You want more stores, more banks, bigger enterprises. I hope that your powerful Negro press and the conscientious element among your leaders will continue to inspire you to achieve. I have detected during my short stay that even among you there are leaders who are false, who are mere self-seekers. Miss Crockett, Al Sharpton, Jamal Bryant, Roland Martin, Joy Reid, y'all get it, right? But on the other hand, I am pleased to find good men, and two, those who fight for the uplift of the race is one of life and death. I have met with some personalities who are not prominently in the limelight, for whom I have a strong regard as towards their sincerity in the cause of race uplift. And I think more of their people as real disciples, working for the good of our race than many of the men whose names have become nationally and internationally known. In New York, I met John E. Bruce, a man for whom I have the strongest regard, inasmuch as I have seen him a true Negro, a man who does not talk simply because he is in a position for which he must say or do something, but who feels honored to be a member. Our racial pride here on this soil is unmatched. I can also place in the category Dr. R.R. Wright Jr., Dr. Parks, Vice President of the Baptist Union, Dr. Trilly of the M.E. Church of Philadelphia, and Reverend C. Anderson of Quinn Chapel, and Mrs. Ida B. Wells Barnett of Chicago. With men and women of this type who are conscientious workers and not mere life service dignitaries, I can quite understand that the time is at hand when the stranger, such as I am, will discover the American Negro firmly and strongly set on a pinnacle of fame. The West Indian Negro, who has had 78 years of emancipation, has nothing to compare with your progress. Educationally, he has, in the exception, made a step forward. But generally, he is stagnant. I have discovered a lot of vain bluff as propagated by the irresponsible type of the West Indian Negro who has become a resident of this country. Bluff to the effect of the conditions are better in the West Indies than they are in the Americas. Now, let me assure you, honestly and truthfully, that they are nothing of the kind. The West Indies, in reality, could have been the ideal home for the Negro, but the sleeping West Indian has ignored his chance ever since his emancipation. And today, he is at the tail end of all that is worthwhile in the West Indies. The educated men are immigrating to the United States, Canada, and Europe. The laboring element are to be found by the thousands in Central and South America. These people are leaving their homes simply because they haven't pride and courage enough to stay home and combat the forces to make them exiles. If we had the spirit of self-consciousness and reliance such as you have in America, we would have been far ahead of you. And today, the standard of the Negro development in the West would have been higher. We haven't the pluck in the West Indies to agitate or demand a square deal, and blame can be attributed to no other source than indolence and lack of pride amongst themselves. Let not the American Negro be misled. He occupies the best position of all Negroes up to the present time. And my advice to him is to keep up his constitutional fight for equity and justice. The Negroes of the West Indies have been sleeping for 78 years and are still under the spell of Rip Van Winkle. These people want a terrific sensation to awaken them to their racial consciousness. We are throwing away good business opportunities in the beautiful islands of the West Indies. We have no banks of our own, no big stores or commercial undertakings. We depend on others as dealers while we remain consumers. The file there open and ready for anyone who has a training and ability to become a pioneer. If enterprise, isn't that wild? People who want us to come across shores.
Yep.
This is what he said, 1917. So he must have something right because they're repeating it now. But anyway, continuing. If enterprising Negro Americans would get hold of some of the wealthy Negroes of the West Indies and teach them how to trade and to do things in the interest of their people, a great good would be accomplished for the advancement of the race. The Negro masses in the West Indies want enterprises that will help them to dress as well as the Negro in the North in the United States, to help them to live in good homes, and to provide them with furniture on an installment plan, and to insure them in sickness and death, and to prevent a pauper's grave.
They want to put their furniture on layaway like us.
Let me bring Sister Brooke in here. Why? You ready? You ready, sis? She said she hopes so. All right, we're gonna see. You looking all right. You looking all right.
Oh, man, I'm on my phone because for some reason my computer was just blocking all the cameras and the sound. It was so crazy, and nothing it says blocked. I go into all the settings, everything is okay, but it wouldn't let me.
Sister Brooke is loud like I was a minute ago.
Oh, that's because I have on my Bluetooth. I can't. My normal setup is not working in here.
It's okay. I can tolerate it. Go ahead. Just go.
Let me try to take it. How could I do this? I don't have access.
You're muted, sis. We can't hear you. And when Brother Black, she was not as loud as you.
So it's fine, Brooke. You're fine. We hear you clear. You're fine. Don't let don't let Brother Anunnaki get you off your game. He be messing with people. We know him over here. Don't fall for the okie doke. But
I thought he was serious because I'm not on my regular setup. I'm not using a mic. I'm using Bluetooth. So I thought shame on you for doing that to me. I'm already frazzled enough.
I want us, because we got what, an hour to go. So I want us to get we got to give it reparations. But for everybody on the panel, what did you think about this speech by Marcus Messiah Garvey as it relates to Black Americans? Go ahead, Sister Brooks.
Well, I mean, I can tie that all into what we experience with reparations right now. You were saying that this is why you don't feel that that they should be in politics here in America. And we're experiencing that right now. You know, one of the things that I said during my short 3-minute testimony was that it is obvious that the legislators and that they are not our kinfolk. They are our skinfolk, but they are definitely not our kinfolk. And that is what we are experiencing right now. So it's like, to hear him lay it out plain, it's exactly what we're seeing. And I spoke to like Brother Divine, who was at the Freedmen Project. He explained to me that he has gone to, just like he had a whole long list of different types of Black organizations, you know, all different types, you know, from all different countries and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to every single one of them to collaborate with him on the appropriate constitutional bill. And all of them turned him down or didn't answer. So, you know, that's like I said, going back to my short 3-minute speech, it's obvious that
let's let people hear what you actually said, and then you can come back and we can expound on why you said.
Oh, you're gonna embarrass me? Right? You're gonna embarrass me? Okay.
Here we go, family. This was what was it, Tuesday? Right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
I'm a day lost. Child, only slept 4 days since I last saw you.
I don't know how you moving right now.
I don't either. I equate it to energy.
You running on fumes.
Facts. Now, while Sister Brooke and I traveled up to Rochester, we had not conversed with what we were going to say. As a matter of fact, we only showed each other our written down testimony just before we were called up, right?
That's right.
And as I was listening to people, I was going to just off the cuff because I was annoyed, right? But then once I saw what Brooke was going to do, I said, let me fall back. The ancestors is working here. I got to fall back. Yet let the young lion go ahead, and I'm going to back it up with everything that's missing in this goddamn bill. Right? So we're going to listen to Sister Brooke and we'll come right back and we'll discuss. Hold on, family. Here we go.
To the commission, you were set up to fail. Other commissions had executive directors, staff, research, and legal teams, and this one, you weren't even allowed to speak to each other before being sworn in. Does that include relatives, or is that a conflict? Anyway, if you know the law, you know that this bill and this commission is a time-wasting, heel-spinning joke. More democratic, symbolism over substance. Why pass a blatantly illegal, unconstitutional bill, then use taxpayer funds for a commission? Commissioners may not be getting paid, but other staff and researchers are. Race-based compensation will never become law. And this isn't just a valid point, it's constitutional law. And as we have seen with the overturning of DEI and affirmative action, labeling it African descent doesn't change its race-based nature. Legislators can pass bills, but that doesn't mean they'll survive legal scrutiny. Legal scrutiny like Ed Blum, who is laser focused on knocking this bill down. The Freedmen Project went to legislators and told them that they got it wrong. They told them they wanted it amended. They told them to repeal the existing bill currently signed into law. The Freedmen came in hand with a constitutional bill with the recipients based on our legal status as freedmen. They went around to different legislators and the Assembly and State Senate. They talked to them, they sat with them, they sent letters and phone calls, but due to what I can only assume is the inability of legislators to see themselves benefiting from this legal bill, we faced what we always face in this country, except this time it's from skin folk, proving in action that they aren't the kinfolk of the FBA freedmen. How telling is it that we're getting the same treatment as we have with other legislators who don't share our skin? How does this free us? I guess the legislators would be unqualified to tell us, or they are purposely sabotaging our reparations because they do not have a bill that's worth a hill of beans. So there may be only 44 million of us, but we are 44 million who are used to fighting. And I don't mean to sound pejorative, but we are 44 million who don't run from a fight. Foundational Black American impact and influence, our presence over power is so effective in fighting that people immigrate here from all over the world to benefit from the fruits of and the gains of the civil rights that we fought and died for. Since this bill is already deader than a doornail, I come to speak before my neighbors. I come to serve you notice that when this bill dies, we, the FBA freedmen, will remain standing and fighting as we have for centuries on this land drenched in our blood. And in closing, include in your report that this bill is unconstitutional and illegal and isn't worth the paper it's written on, and you know it. Have a good day.
Thank you.
The only thing Sister Brooke ain't do is throw the mic on the ground.
Word, right? Definitely a mic drop right there.
Now, there was brother, I think what's his Twitter name? King Tremaine?
Yes, King Tremaine, or bat, and then it's BA something. Hold on.
We're gonna play his clip. Hold on. Because there was only 3 of us with common sense. The clips I'm playing. So period. So here we go. Family.
Hold on.
King Tremaine with the American Tribe Task Force. I would like to begin by reasserting, redemanding transparency by this commission. First in Buffalo in November, then again in Queens in December, we asked for transparency as to what the commission was doing in real time. We still have yet to receive that. There's no expense report, for example, or budget as far as what the commission is working on. Specifically, though, what I'm talking about is the subcommittee put together an expert witness list, or so-called expert witness list, that we have not been able to examine. If we cannot examine this witness list, then we cannot ask questions, the appropriate questions that we want to ask. We are done being spoken for without being representing ourselves and holding the people who are representing us accountable. Moving on to lineage-based remedies and reparations. To quote Brother M, because I didn't get his permission to use his name, so we'll call him Brother M here from Rochester within a work group. Ideologies are the mental software that programs how we move. But here's the chess move. Is that software outdated? Can it be updated to meet the current algorithm? For context for everyone here, the software is Pan-Africanism, aka flat blackness, aka race-based approach to reparations. The current algorithm is the current legal standing that race-based remedies are indeed, in fact, unconstitutional. Divine Prince, when he was the president of the U.S. Freedmen Project, when he was in Albany with you on 2/15/25, asked you to examine number 8 of your duties, which asked this commission to recommend appropriate remedies. Appropriate remedies would be appropriate legislation. Appropriate legislation would be laws that, in fact, that can be passed. A law that is unconstitutional, even if it is passed, will be overturned and not withstand legal scrutiny. So again, to furthermore, Brother Howard Eagle wrote this commission. Neither him nor Mr. Prince were ever acknowledged for their oral or written submissions by this commission. He asked this commission if you would stand with the people, the community of the community commissions on reparations and remedies, if you would stand with the people and demand that the legislation that convened this commission be amended to include lineage-based remedies, which is the only thing that will withstand the legal scrutiny that is the context of the law that exists right now. To my knowledge, we have not received any information regarding that, no feedback from the commission regarding that, which is imperative to how we move, because there's no sense in going further, definitely no sense in us asking our legislators to give you an extension, because it'll all be for naught. We're not going to propose legislation that's not going to get us anywhere. Finally, a lot of members of this commission seem to think that holding on to this idea of Pan-Africanism is what's most important, like there's some type of battle between that and lineage-based remedies. That's not what exists. What actually exists is evolution versus stagnation. Why is this commission still stagnated and not evolving with the rest of the country? California has proposed two bills, AB 1315, SB 518. Both of them are lineage-based resolutions and bills for remedies for reparations.
Thank you, Mr. Tremaine. If you could submit the rest of that, and then I will make sure we flag that so that we can respond to you. So I apologize. So
I ask that this commission stop being stagnated and evolve with the demands of the people.
Thank you, Mr. Tremaine.
Good evening to the commission. First, I'd like to conclude what Brooke said, that this bill is flawed. As a Black American descendant of slavery, we demand reparations in the form of substantial cash payments and full income tax exemption. Our ancestors, who were stolen from their homes, trafficked and exploited under the system of brutal forced labor, built the wealth of this state. Yet, we and our families have continued to suffer under generations of racial injustice, economic suppression, and government neglect. New York State's role in slavery was not incidental, it was foundational. Hence, foundational Black Americans deserve reparations. Before the Civil War and even after the abolition of slavery, of the transatlantic slave trade, in 1808, Black Americans were still kidnapped and sold in slavery through the reverse Underground Railroad. New York itself was the home to a thriving network of kidnappers who preyed on free Black people, forcing them into bondage in the South. This was not the work of a few criminals, but a system upheld by corrupt officials, law enforcement, and even the courts, all of them who turned a blind eye to the suffering of Black families torn apart. The New York kidnapping clubs, composed of police officers, judges, ensured Black people would never feel safe in a so-called free North. Wall Street itself, now a symbol of American wealth, was built on this trade of Black bodies. Enslaved Blacks were the first commodities bought and sold on the very heart of the New York financial district. This was not just Southern brutality. New York profited immensely from slavery, ensuring slave ships, financing plantations, and ensuring continued oppression of Black people long after slavery was legally abolished. The state government, its banks, and its business thrived on our suffering, and they owe a long overdue debt. Even after slavery officially ended, New York never made good on its promises to Black Americans. The New York Democratic Party has consistently failed us, offering empty pledges, symbolic justice, while doing little to repair the damage. Instead of justice, we face redlining, segregation, police brutality, and economic exclusion. The crack epidemic of the 80s, fueled by systemic neglect and targeted policies, devastated Black communities, while the government waged war on us instead of addressing the root causes. This is not an accident. It is a continuation of the same racist structures that have always sought to keep us oppressed. We are tired of waiting. We are tired of broken promises. New York history is one of active participation in Black suffering. You owe a debt, and we come to collect that debt. And if you think what happened to Kamala Harris' campaign was something, wait till we do with the rest of you.
Sis said, wait till you see what we do with the rest of you.
Standing ovation, my sister.
You
my down to the greatness.
Us, I was tired and hungry. We had the police was messing with us, all kind of stuff. But we're gonna get into all of that. But I want Sister Brooke to tell the people what is actually wrong with the bill, because we all had to speak within 3 minutes. So that's why you see us speaking so rapidly. They only give you 3 minutes. So we got to squeeze it in.
You gotta get it all in.
Time. But let the people know exactly what we're trying to get them to change in this bill, to start it from scratch. That's the way I see it. Started from scratch. But
Yeah, just start all over. Well, number one, there's so many things. The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that they want the recipients of the reparations to be people of African descent. DEI is already gone. Affirmative action is already gone. It has already been proven that that's not going to work, and changing the word by putting it as African descent is not going to trick anybody. You understand what I'm saying? So you cannot have race-based compensation. You can only have lineage-based compensation. That is the only one that is legal by law. For instance, when the Jews didn't even go through what they went through here, and they gave them reparations. They went through it in Germany, but somehow the U.S. gave them reparations. Not all Jews received reparations. Only ones whose lineage came from that source. That's not here. Same thing with the I guess you would call them kind of because I don't want to call them Eskimos. They don't like that. The indigenous, like higher up.
You talking about the Inuit?
Yes, thank you very much. That's a better word. They like that word. Yes, the Inuits. So when they received reparations, it was not all of them who received it. It was just the ones who were the descendants of the ones that were moved from this specific plot of land. Then again, with the Japanese who were in internment camps, when they received reparations, not all of them received, or not all Japanese Americans received reparations, just the ones who were in the internment camps. And I just want to remind everyone that when these people got their reparations, the other members of their group who were not a part of the lineage never complained. They never got upset. They did not fight the other people who were qualified for the reparations. So this is a unique situation in so many ways. And so the other parts that are illegal about this bill, or problematic, I would say, about this bill, and therefore illegal, is the fact that this claim is broad. It's way too broad. And the broader, and everyone knows, you don't have to be a lawyer. All you have to do is watch Law and Order enough times to know that you cannot have a very broad, the broader the claim, the harder it is to prove. You got to really kind of narrow it down. And that is why reparations, I like to explain it like this. And there are lots of people who explain it lots of different ways, but I find the easiest way to explain it is like this. Reparations should be back payment for services rendered. Period.
Sister Brooke, I got a question real quick, because this kind of comes into it, and I'm sorry if I take you off your train of thought, but I got to put this in the equation. Remember the 3 people that survived Black Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, whatever you call it today?
Yes.
Black Wall Street. What was the justification to deny them something that they lived through, not something that their lineage suffered from as a result of losing their property, their houses, their cars, their property, in other words, and people, for that matter? Because the government only claimed like only 200 people died, and everybody said that was a damn lie. So in contrast to what you're saying, what was the justification for denying them benefits for something that they lived through in actuality, and not from indirect lineage or direct lineage?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember what the exact justification was. I really don't. I just remember it was BS. I do remember that. But I don't remember exactly what the justification was, but they just refused to do it. And that was under the Democrats.
Which is
I
why
remember that
I
too.
think it's problematic, that they did not get reparations, and as
Because
black
they're
people,
trying to
you have
wait it
the
out.
nerve, right? And as black people, you have the audacity to go to the polls and keep this party alive. We can kill this party in one election cycle if all of us stay home and get out the party. Don't be registered as a Democrat and just sit home. That doesn't help. Get out the damn party. Independent, non-party affiliate, period. You have no affiliation. Why would you? They aren't affiliate to you. You got Eric Adams on Capitol Hill being questioned about migrants, and they get money hand over fist. Protections. You got lawmakers who are breaking federal law on their behalf. None of them are breaking federal law on behalf of restore justice, of reparations. None of them. And you go out and vote for them, especially here in New York. You got people who talk about what's his name? Tiki Taki. What's his name? Jermaine. You know what I mean?
Jemani?
Jemani Williams. Yeah, public advocate. Now you got this city council speaker who throw herself in the ring. None of these bastards advocated for us. And anybody come to me and say, yeah, Jemani Williams is the man. He's a good candidate. I'm smacking you. Don't come to me about none of them. Eric Adams, none of them. If you come to me with anything, I'm smacking you. I'm telling you that. So don't come to me. And your peoples who work on their campaigns, make sure they skip my dough, because it's going to be a problem. Somebody getting beat up. But I'm just making jokes. But for real, Sister Brooke, now, can you tell the people from your observation what the city of Rochester looks like?
Ooh, you know what? What was that show when it was like a bunch of white folks lived in a house, and it was like one black girl, and she was the best friend, and she married one of the guys. You remember that show? What show was that? It was like very, for lack of a better term, white trashy. That's how it looked like run down and country at the same time, and city. I don't know how you do all of that at one time, but it's like it looked like it needs a lot of help. You can see
an episode can be filmed of Night of the Living Dead out there.
Yo, and then the lean-in.
No industry there, none whatsoever.
None. And then you see random people leaning on the corner.
And meanwhile, I think somebody
Brother Black.
See, I told you. so
my mic was on. My mic wasn't on.
It was. I just turned it off from behind the scene. It's okay, Black. Don't worry, brother. I got you. So it's like an episode of Night of the Living Dead can be filmed there, that they really have zombies walking around there in real life. People tweaking and everything. We saw it. So Kathy Hochul, who is the governor of this state, is asking politicians and government officials to break the law on behalf of migrants. But the city of Rochester needs help. And you have nothing to say, you sunken face heifer. You got a lot of nerve. We went in one store because we had to get something to eat real quick because meat was starting. So Brooke was like, all right, we're going to go to the deli, right? Because I found the deli online. We went in the deli. It was dark. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, I'm getting up out of here. I'll get me a bag of chips. Then I looked over there. I said, I don't even want that. We are out of here. Right? Am I right?
Let me let y'all know something. Rochester is the snowiest town in the whole country, in the continental 48 United States.
Ooh, thank God we went because there wasn't no snow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That would have been just with the icing on the horrible cake.
So,
And if you know anything about black people, we get depressed when it's when the winter is crazy long. You know, intrinsically, not on an aware level.
No, it's true.
So we get up there, and there's a bunch of people there for the city and outside of the city of Rochester. So I look around the room and I'm like, some of these folks don't belong here. Y'all can figure out off the rip who I'm talking about. Then you had people coming up and let me be calm. You old dusties, keep your mouth closed. Keep your mouth closed. It was old dusties. Them bastards ain't my elders. They was old dusties. You had people talking about, one girl talked about reparations should include a book club.
A what?
A book club. I'm like, is this happening? So I told Brooke, I said, if she don't sit down with her crooked heel and go get that heel on her shoe fixed and be quiet.
A book club?
I swear to
you hear the craziest
just say
thing.
anything to be in line with the money. It's a money grab for these people.
Right, Marcia.
Like, all right, a book. Now what?
But that's the point. The point of a money grab is that I don't care what it's about as long as I can get $150,000 out of it. That's what they do. That's what's happening. And this is very unfortunate for all of us. All of us, no matter where your hat lays at the end of the day. Garvey says it in the speech. If you're not looking to get clear direction on where you're going to go, anything that anyone else does is going to fuck us up. And at the time I'm sorry. At the time Garvey was writing, America, Black folks in America, they pushed their way forward. They did all of these things while Caribbean folks were still saying, yeah, boss, yeah, master. Haitian people were like, let me pay off this debt, giving them all this cash to leave them the schlucks alone. And they didn't. And we're not learning. And it's like 200 years later, and we're still, collapsing time, doing the same thing over and over again. Apologies for the rant.
Well, the way I see this is like this. Ice Cube had a plan. However, whatever you think about him, I'm not getting into the personalities and all that other stuff.
Look, I agree with.
Say again, brother.
I agree with the.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just saying for those who may, he's a rapper and forget about him. Well, the point I'm making is when he brought that plan together, and something that we need to address here that I never hear black people talking about because they were so Trump derangement syndrome, we never talk about it. The 2020 election was stolen by the Democrats. That's something most of us don't talk about because, even if we switch it from, hating Trump to kind of liking him, we still like, that was a lie and it was a fraud. See, he's a felon and, all that, whatever. Whatever you believe, that's your business. But he's the only president who already was president and, wasn't for a minute and then now he's back that has said he's willing to talk about it. And with that said, he's willing to do stuff based on what you just showed us at the beginning of the show, Sister Keisha. And surprising that young man with that awarding him to be a deputized CIA agent. I'm done.
I somewhat agree, somewhat disagree. I don't trust none of them. I don't care how melodic they sound, because before you can do anything, we should be serviced first. I don't give a shit about nobody else at this point, because since 1865, everything and everybody has. How long should we wait? I don't want conversation. What needs to be done. He can write an executive order, slip it down to the Ways and Means Committee, and get it done. They have control of the presidency, the Supreme Court, the Congress, and the Senate. I'm tired, and I'm tired of lip service. so both parties could kick rocks in with their bare feet. I don't care. You know what I mean? But I get your point. I get your point. You know, but he isn't the only one. He wasn't the only one. And I can run through a litany of presidents if you want. But he wasn't the only one. I just want to be factual. Go ahead, Sister Brooke, on your thoughts of, you know, some of the comments that were made by presenters or people who were giving testimonials, if you will. One person came up there with a whole blueprint and everything. He wanted 450 million to rebuild downtown. No,
that was the guy who was half
the neck. Go ahead.
That was the guy who said he was half Irish, half from what country in Africa? What was it?
I don't even know.
Zimbabwe, Zanzibar, it was something with a Z, some African country with a Z. And I was like, what? First of all, you're not even qualified. So, you know, we're not even sure if you part of the people who sold us yet. We're not sure. So what we won't be doing is getting your input right now on this. Okay. So I don't know yet. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I don't know. We got to check the paperwork and everything. And he's saying this, come on, nobody won't listen to me. No, we're not. Have a seat. This is not like, and again, it's like you see people making it about something else.
Like
at least the girl with the books, she's talking about reparations and what she thinks it should be as as incorrect as her. Well, as much as I don't agree with what she was saying, at least she was talking about the matter at hand. You sitting here vying for a job.
Exactly.
You trying to get some of the money.
Now remember the Puerto Rican
by hook or by crook.
That's right. Remember the Puerto Rican lady? Hold on.
The fact that they kept trying to.
Hold on, I think I got her queued up. Hold on, let me see. I think I have her queued up. Hold on. Let me see.
And so we want to create this space to be a space that honors truth, a space that honors healing, and most importantly, a space that honors change. So thank you for being here. And with that, I want to invite someone that I certainly admire and their great work. And we're proud to have the president and CEO of the American Action League. I apologize. Angelica Perez Delgado. She is the president and CEO, and we welcome you to provide remarks.
You hear this, business?
Invited a Fat Joe.
Not Fat Joe. Crazy Legs.
I hear Bronx names.
As I was listening to the presentation, I can't help but to think despite Rochester rich history.
Is she the one that talks about the history of the town?
It has never benefited Black and brown folk.
It's this chick right here.
And I stopped to think as we were having this conversation and we think about some of the innovation that is happening now in our community.
She don't even got the right accent.
As close as Syracuse with Micron and some of the other investments that are coming across the state.
Is that the lady who was sitting down when we speaking in the background?
Because those new
that's her. That's her.
Are going to require housing.
That's what I thought.
And they're going to require things in our community. So I just reflected on that. Very quickly, we all know in my memory here.
Look at Ron Daniels. Look at this sellout right here. He go right here.
That has plagued us for a very, very.
But those of you, Brother Lenore, Sister Pat,
a decline on that poverty rate.
Put in the chat what y'all think about Ron Daniels. Go ahead.
And then he got to have all the right flags in the back, right?
Region.
Stop. Don't use the flags to say I mean something.
And
action.
As you drive through some of our neighborhoods and you look at the quality of housing.
He's trying to. He's buying for a contract too.
Structure.
Absolutely.
Interesting enough, as I was sitting with Meeks at the table, and we were looking at the map.
Soaps. Thank you, because I didn't want to hear that chick.
Nobody wanted to listen to the Boricua.
This is the kind of that we had to sit through. We sat through 3.5 hours of this BS. Because we came on last. So we had to sit through 3.5 hours of this BS. At the same time, you had 2 employees of Kathy Hochul's administration who was eavesdropping on everything me and Brooke was trying to talk about.
Sitting right next to us. Right next to us, listening to everything we were saying. Yo, it was
No, they
crazy.
called us over like they wanted to know exactly what was. They couldn't take it no more. I'm telling you, right, sis?
What y'all talking about? So what y'all saying?
That Puerto Rican shouldn't be in this meeting. How about that? Let's start right there.
I wanna talk about that. This was I've been to quite a few of these meetings, right? And this was the first time that they kept inserting brown and Latinos. And the reason is because all of the Democratic leadership that were in the building, I swear it was like 5 of them, different seats, and only one of them was black. So it was probably 6 of them because it was 5 like 5 Latinos, and they were all, or Hispanics, whatever they call themselves today. I don't know. So it was like 5 of them there. And even the one who spoke right before me, remember that, Keisha? He at least had, when he spoke, he talked about black people.
Yes.
Everybody else, the Puerto Rican guy who brought his daughter. Because I was sitting there looking like, this is for you and your child? Because this is not what this is about.
He was right on point. Go ahead.
Yeah, he was. And I was shocked to hear that. But he was. But all the rest of them, they're already trying to mix it up. That's why they changed they got the language African descent, because they can claim that they are African descent. And this is just ridiculous. No, that's not what this is about. You can't do that. And that's why, thank God, it is illegal. Because if it wasn't, look what they'd be trying to do.
So
they just trying to get up.
Brooke, what do you guys say? That y'all were in agreement with the Puerto Rican guy with his daughter.
Oh, he said that that this was. Oh, he said a few things actually. To be honest with you, a few shocking things. He said that, one, that this should be, about Black people and what Black people have gone through, and then he said that he has to be honest that the Democratic Party had power to do it and they have not acted to do so, and he said that we have to take ownership of that. And I think that was pretty much it. Did I forget anything?
Sister Brooke, was he from the 5 boroughs?
No, I think they're all representation in Rochester.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I like that he said that, because from my experience growing up with Puerto Ricans, and I think Sister Keisha can attest to this too, we know that we're a separate group of people. Even if we live in the same building, same block, same projects, Puerto Ricans know they're not Black, and Blacks know they're not Puerto Ricans, and we recognize that. This new fake coalition that people are trying to put a narrative on, it don't exist. And I like that the brother was being honest about it, because there shouldn't have been no. This is why Fat Joe ass was in the hot seat, because they keep injecting themselves in things that have nothing to do with them. Now, when it's the Puerto Rican Day Parade, we go out there, we cha-cha with them and all that, but we know we're not Puerto Rican. They start speaking Spanish, we know, we call grandma, we don't call her abuela and all that. And there's no disrespect to that. We just recognize we're going to be honest that we're 2 separate cultures. So what goes on in Puerto Rico is Puerto Rican politics. Ain't got nothing to do with my Fulton Street self. I'm from Fulton Street, from Brooklyn. I ain't got nothing to do with politics in Puerto Rico. I don't play with the frogs. I don't raise no chickens. That's them over there. That's their thing and the lots. And I respect that. And I like somebody came, because that lady that was talking, her voice was annoying. Her voice was very annoying. And I'm glad y'all 2 were there to properly represent y'all and the other brother, because this is the problem when we talk about lack of representation. We're not talking about the aesthetics of it, just having Black people in the room, but as Garvey said, Black people with a Black consciousness that other groups don't possess. Only Black Americans have this consciousness. We have the Malcolms, we have the Martins, we, as he said, we had the Frederick Douglass, the Booker T. Washingtons, the Harriet Tubmans. You're not going nowhere else finding this. And when you go to Africa and find their freedom fighters, you'll find that their influence were Black Americans. So I thank y'all so much for really going up there and holding it down. I thank the Latino dude for being honest. Like, we ain't even supposed to be here. That's the proper attitude to have. Like, why are we here as Puerto Ricans? Slavery didn't happen in Puerto Rico, and Puerto Ricans weren't enslaved on this soil. And that's what we're dealing with.
So I want to say that perhaps this buddy or this guy that was in front of you all is a listener of Bad Bunny's latest album, that is actually talking about colonizers and corruption and how they're pinning one another to one another. And, it's mostly in Spanish. So if you or you get a translator, but it's really talking about how they are using us against each other. And look at what they did to Puerto Rico, and it's spreading across the world, because I think that the people of Puerto Rico don't understand the colonizers' ways, because they mix so well with them, right? And they can blend in and fit in, so they don't see it. But now that half of the island is taken away from them by colonizers, similarly to what's happening to Jamaica and Haiti, where half of the people are X'd out of the beaches, right? Because colonizers has come and exploited the country, and you're left in the middle, you're marginalized to the middle, and you can't get your food how you used to get it. So, I say all of that to say that the brother may have been listening to Bad Bunny, because I've seen many of these people from some of these Hispanic countries really talking differently from the past few days once this album came out. So it's really great that people are understanding their roles, right? I know my role. My role is a supporter and a champion for my people, wherever they are. But I know that I'm not getting a dime of reparations. Now, if they want to give $1 to my son because of his lineage, that's his money. That got nothing to do with me. And I understand that. And I need more people to understand, especially people first generations like myself, my cousins primarily, to understand where your allegiance and your role is. Your allegiance is to support the brothers and sisters to get what they need, and to do what you got to do for your mother's country. That's it. You can't be asking for stuff that doesn't belong to you. And I'm tired of it.
Tell your cousin every 8 p.m. to Thorough Black Talk, and we'll talk to them.
I want to say this to all both of y'all said, and thank you, Sister Marcia, for your piece. What makes Puerto Ricans kind of mix in a little differently, we know that they part African too, mostly Arawaks, and then Spanish and whatever Britons went over there and so on. But they're American citizens. So they feel they have a stake in whatever happens to Black America, because they usually live, especially in New York, New Jersey, Philly, they live around us. Hold on.
Go ahead.
So, but I lived in Harlem in the 90s, right on the edge of what is considered West Harlem and Washington Heights. So I used to hear that, I'm no Black, I'm Dominican shit all the time. I heard it all the time. I got tired of hearing it. I stopped having those discussions because I already knew the connection. I'm not trying to go there with y'all. You be what you want to be. So what I'm thinking is happening as a body politic as a whole, people are moving toward wanting to be Black. Hold on, Sister Keisha, I'm coming with it. Wanting to be Black after this flash happened, because these crackers is out of here when it happens. Okay, you can differ with me. Go ahead.
I do.
Yeah, me too.
They are push SHIT.
Lots of it.
Why don't they grandfather clause themselves into Israel in the Jewish lobby? Why don't they do that? Why don't they grandfather clause themselves into the anti-Asian hate crime bill? Why? Why is it just us? And I know why it is. Because we sat back too goddamn long and let people do it. And that's one of the things that I spoke about last night. Older generations have let this stuff fly for too long, especially these Black organizations. Pan-Africanism has always been flawed. Always. It has to be group-based. And that doesn't mean that the majority of the group leans on one element of the group. That's the same thing Garvey said. It's a farce. And they are liars. They are liars.
I'm not saying it's right. I that's what I see as the result of what I just said. I don't disagree with you on where we're ending. I'm telling you why I think it's going that way. Remember, hold on, Stan, real quick. Public Enemy made an album in the 80s, late 80s, called Fear of a Black Planet. And he talked about all the stuff I just said to y'all. So if you don't remember what I'm saying, and you don't have to agree. I'm not trying to get you to agree. I'm telling you how I see it.
But it's moot right now. It's moot.
Right. That's
changing. It's over. I don't care what they think. I don't care. Go ahead, Tad.
Can I
go ahead, Sister Brooke. And
okay, please, thank you so much. I just want to add. So there's this page on Twitter called Forgotten Latino History, right? I talked about this in my last live, right? So let's discuss Latino history, right? And their race, right? The most recent thing is well, you know that girl that from The View, the Puerto Rican girl. It came out. It came out. Yes, Sunny Holston. She found out that she is the descendant of conquistadors, not the slaves. She has no slave background. She owned the slaves. Okay, so who are these people really? We are so welcoming. We want everybody to be Black with us. And that is our problem. We have to start being, we were like, oh, yeah, you got a little bit in you. You got just a little bit in you. We like, oh, yeah, you Black with us. But we didn't pay attention to their real history. So I talked about how, and I learned this on Forgotten History, they have video interviews of Hispanics that lived in different places in the 50s, and this is back during Jim Crow segregation, okay? And they were talking about how they went to the white schools. They went to the white pools. They swam in the white pools. And they talk about how it was when things became integrated. One woman talked about how she remembers the day they integrated the pool. And when the Black person got in the pool, everybody got out, including the Mexicans.
And Brooke.
No.
Because I'm gonna give you the mic back because I like where you're going with it. Because I just wanted to make a point to what Sister Keisha was saying and Brother Black was saying, and add my little 2.5 cents in it. Our problem is we conflate everything. See, with Pan-Africanism, that's a political position for global Black people, right? But what we're talking about is specific to foundational Black Americans. So when we talk about who's Black, who's not, that's why I like they brought up it's not going to be African-centered, because we got to realize a lot of us are operating out of Western philosophy and ideas. What do I mean by that? The one drop rule. One drop of Black blood makes you Black, and people are still running with that. Oh, I could trace my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother to Africa. We're like, well, she's part of the first people on the planet, so you can trace it back to there, right? But as migrated, you stop being Black, you stop being African, whatever. We know that all races, now this is scientifically, this ain't my ideology or no theory I came up with. This is scientifically proven that all of humanity comes from an African genome. We are the only Homo sapiens on the planet, according to the scientists. Everybody else are descendants of Neanderthals that mixed with the original Homo sapiens.
I saw that.
It's clear. We got, now this is science I'm talking about. They call Dinknish, who Dr. Leakey called Lucy, they call a scientific Eve. They call a scientific Eve because she's the first person on the planet that they know of that gave life to everybody else. With that argument, everybody could claim African identity. And us as Black people, in America at least, who's been conditioned with the foolishness, we really have to stop accepting everybody. At one point we had to, because if the child belonged to the plantation owner and had a Black mama, it still was considered Black, so it had to be out in the field with us. We did that as a survival mechanism because we don't throw away our children. These people are scientifically our children, but in real time, 2025, we have no relations. If we have a Black meeting, Stop letting Jewish people come in. Stop letting Puerto Ricans come in. Stop letting Mexicans come in. Because guess what? We don't even know when they have their meetings. We're not invited to the party. We're not even told what block is on. We don't even get to see the pictures on Instagram. We don't know nothing about what they're doing. But for some reason, we feel that we need to invite everybody in because we're the mindset that in unity there's strength. But we can't unite with other groups until we get our house in order. And until we really make that the clarion call that we have to get our house in order, whether it's with Pastor Jamal Bryans or Ron Daniels or whoever it is, like, look, my dude, if you claiming blackness, and we know your grandmama from Virginia, South Carolina, and all that, this is the behavior we're expecting. And this is the consequences of not behaving accordingly when you come into this house. Same way we do family on the micro level, we got to do that on the macro level, because there got to be consequences for violation and the idiocy, because this is how a Dylan Roof could come sit amongst us and nobody checks this dude temperature. Nobody like, yo, who this dude? This is how they could walk in and yo, shout out to the security guard, you know, that popped a few shots in Buffalo, you know, but we got to be mindful of who we let in our area, specifically when we talking about real tangible issues that really not just affect us, but affect the generations to come. Because as I think Sister Brooke just said, or Sister Keisha said, we've been fighting the same fight for centuries now. So here, all our Pan-Africans want to holler about Garvey, 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 but what did Garvey say? See, people be forgetting that stuff. And this is not a knock on our African and Caribbean brothers and sisters. But when they on the parkway, they ain't waving no Black American flags. They waving Grenada or Barbados or Haiti or Belize or wherever they from. And that's cool. Rep your set.
Or with it. We with it. And don't get mad when we rep ours.
He's right. Let me rep mine. And that's all we saying, man. But all this other stuff, they really gonna bring out the warrior spirit of the Black Americans after a while. And it's gonna start be putting hands on, because that's why a lot of Caribbeans decided to cosplay, because you had to fit in. Kool Herc said, yo, he ain't getting no rap with that Jamaican clothes and that accent. He had to cosplay Black Americans. That's why I get upset when Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes, but at the same token, I want to thank them. I want to thank them for them false statements so we can address the elephant in the room. Because for too long, as Black folks, we accept everybody because that's just the loving spirit we had. But on real time, all that's going to stop. As nice as I am to people, there's also the extreme side that could get physical. And that's the side that, you know, that Brooklyn side. And we're going to start bringing that out on people, because I was offended. Wasn't even in the meeting. But to hear Spanish people there, why? Why? When you getting all of these set-asides, y'all could cosplay everybody y'all want. Y'all could act Black, Afro, Latino. Then y'all play immigrants and stay up in the hotels and get some of that money. Come, y'all chameleons. And it's like, when do we get what's for us? For us. And I'm gonna pass the mic after this. My step-grandfather, because my mother's biological father died before her 3rd birthday. Right? Samuel Cromwell. He died before her 3rd birthday. So then my grandmother, they didn't get married, but she got involved with my grandfather. I call him my grandfather. His name is Ernest. Ernest would always talk about the stories of growing up in the Jim Crow South, because, you know, he hated the Urugos. He talked about the stories of growing up in the Jim Crow South, as well as the stories that his grandparents told them about their enslavement. See, we act like it was so long ago. It was my grandparents. It's not, and we all love our grandparents. I know I do. So that's our lineage. That's our bloodline. I've been Black all my life. I know the Black experience. I don't need no Latino. I don't need no Johnny come lately off the motherland, out the Caribbean. I don't need nobody to interpretate the Black experience for me. But now that we got social media, everybody has a microphone and a platform, and they adopt our narrative of resistance, but they ain't shed the blood that we shed. They ain't take the hits that we took. It's like, and I'm gonna make this one last point. It's like the suckers in the street. Dudes, we in 2025 right now. Back in the 80s and 90s when it was crazy outside, dudes was in the house looking at the action out the window. But now that the smoke is clear and the neighborhood has been gentrified and all the real ones either retired or dead or locked up. Now the ones who wasn't outside, who only witnessed it through their window, come outside like they was on the front line, like they was Rambo or Action Jackson outside, rewriting the narratives. And that's what's going on with so many people who look like us, cosplaying. And as Sister Brooks said, you know, they might be skin folk, but they ain't kin folk. But go ahead.
Ain't.
And I'm off that.
You know, I just want y'all to pay attention. Let me move that out of book face. I want y'all to pay attention because the next meeting will be next month. And guess what, Black? It's going to be in the Bronx. It's going to be in the goddamn Bronx. And I'm coming.
Where my voting card at?
I'm bringing the firearm on the hip. Right? But the next upcoming meeting will be April 10th. I was wrong. It's April 10th. All right, in the Bronx. The commission is planning to hold hearings in the following locations: Long Island, Harlem, and Brooklyn. So, April 10th. All right, put that in your calendar. Put that in your calendar. We need as many of you as possible with a clear thinking mind of what reparations must be, because they have to scrap this bill. It cannot stand as it is. And the more they keep pushing that, the more we're going to push back. So we want y'all ready in the Bronx. Now, I want you to see something because, you know, I asked the fellow UAMers if they could put something in the chat about Ron Daniels. Now, Sister Pat, he was a United Nations poverty pimp. Period. Period. She said the chairperson is well known to his Latino woman. Okay? All right? Okay? Now, I know Brother Peace knows some things. Brother Peace, put in the chat your feelings on Ron Daniels. Okay? So, I think Brother Lenard said something too. I'm trying to find it. But we already, there you go. He said, F Ron Daniels. We already know his legacy. He's a charlatan, just like the rest of them. So we want y'all to be.
Sister Keisha, who wrote HR 40? Was it him?
No, he's never been a politician.
Oh, okay.
It was John Conyers in 1984.
They kind of look alike. That's why I confused them.
Which was part of an agreement. And we'll get into the history of Senator John Conyers and Congressman John Conyers and that relation to Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and Charlie Rangel. One day y'all remind me to tell you the real story. But anyway, so be ready. April 10th, mark it on your calendar. I think that's a Tuesday or Wednesday, something. But take off from work and stick to the talking points. You get 3 minutes. Don't come with a whole tangent, because that ain't gonna work. Brother P say he's a sellout. He says he's a sellout. We know this mother effer. So he almost got beat up at the last meeting, right, bro?
Yep.
He was about to get his head busted last time. You know,
we talking about the one in Queens.
Say that again.
You talking about the one in Queens?
He almost got his head busted. So, matter of fact, all of them almost got their head busted. But, you know, we are just tired of the shenanigans and the foolishness. Again, you know, we're going to stay on it. Shout out to Brother Divine. Tell Divine he got to come up on the Brooklyn Bridge. All right, Brooke?
Okay.
Yeah, let him know or give him my number so we can get him up here on the Brooklyn Bridge, Brother Divine of the Freedman Project. But we have to stay the course. And as I mentioned in the last of my spew, if they think what happened with Kamala Harris was something, wait until they see what we do with the rest of them. And, you know, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And you know, you remember how they came at their family members and all that who was voting them if they voted for Trump or whatever, leave your family and all this whole kind of stuff. I feel the same way. If you're a registered Democrat, I don't trust you. I don't trust you, and you're suspect in everything that you do. And it also tells me that you are not intelligent. And I don't like stupid people. But we have come to the end of our program, family. We're going to give our final thoughts and commentary and be up out of here. Sister Brooke, your final thoughts.
Well, one more thing I wanted to add about the Hispanics,
Sure,
that both both groups, both Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, were deemed white by the court of law. So these are cases that are on the books. The Mexicans used to have anti-black rallies during Jim Crow segregation because they didn't want to go to school with black people. Like I said, they jumped out of the pool when a black person got in the pool. So DJ Faze, which is one of the originators of hip hop, he was one of the kids that was actually at the parties, you know, with Disco King Mario and everything. So they were the group. They were the group before Kool Herc. Okay, so he talks about how the whole reason they had the spades, and he was a child, a small child at the time, so he was in the baby spades. The whole reason that they had that group was to defend themselves against the Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans in the neighborhood were fighting and beating up the children. So they had to form a gang to be able to protect themselves from the Puerto Ricans. And this is around the same time when they were creating everything around hip hop. They were doing the dances to the break beats, going to the parties with disco before it was a name, before when it was disco. So for them to now come back and say that you were involved in it, when we know that there are two types of Puerto Ricans. We know for a fact, everybody knows. I went to when I worked at a doctor's office once, and I had two types of Puerto Ricans, and that explains them perfectly. One of them was white presenting, where she dated nothing but black men but couldn't bring none of them home. And the other one looked black and did not speak any Spanish, and therefore they told her that she wasn't Puerto Rican, even though she was. So therefore, because they didn't want anything to do with her, she hung with black people. The men she dated were black men because she looked like a light-skinned black girl, so no one knew the difference. And it's not that she was ashamed or anything, but she was literally shunned from her own people because of how black she looked. So for these people to now turn around and say that you created something, when you don't like us, you don't even like the black people in your own community, how dare you? And now you're trying to ride our backs like a donkey on our reparations? Hell no. This will not fly. Not on my watch. Thank you.
Before we go to Brother Black, I just want to give y'all. Go ahead, Tad. Give it a.
It's always a pleasure to have Sister Brooke on the bridge.
And she came ready in the black.
We need to have her on more often. She bring that old energy with her.
Before we go to Brother Black, I just want to give you all a precursor so that we can continue this conversation next week. What makes us so special?
Mm-hmm.
Art, drama, music, attitude, our belief systems, our language, our culture, our customs, our ritual, behaviors, faith and religion, and our food. We are very unique. Some similarities, some are not. Especially the swag. You don't have the swag.
Yeah.
Anyway. Let's go to Brother Black for his final thoughts and comments.
Great show, great commentary. I love that y'all don't agree with everything I say because that's where the education is in. So, thank y'all for, challenging me. Don't think I take it any kind of way, and I'm going to continue thinking and being the way I am. One thing we need to get straight, and Sister Keisha just alluded to that to a degree, is Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, Trinidadians, or whatever, is an ethnicity. It's not a race or color. So we got to get away from that thinking because somebody's Puerto Rican that they ain't black. I know Puerto Ricans darker than me by name. I could give you names out the wazoo. I grew up with them, went to school with them, all that. I'm from the Bronx. So I know a lot. I grew up with blacks and Puerto Ricans and even Italian and Irish. So on that level, you know, it's where your heart is when it comes to this thing. But as a fact, FBA should get reparations if we want to keep it 100 on the topic that we stuck to. Like Sister Keisha said a minute ago, FBA should get reparations based on the history and the experience. Okay, first and foremost. Now getting back to what I came in on the show with, as far as Brother Roy Ayers and all the recent deaths in the entertainment industry, we know now. I got sent an inbox. I didn't really get to look at it because I got it pretty much after I got home, and then I had to get on the show. But just because some of these people are dying of old age don't mean that they dying of old age. It could still be sacrifices. I explained to y'all earlier that Gene Hackman lived was neighbors with two instrumental people, and one was Epstein, for those of y'all who came in late or didn't hear what I said earlier, and the other one was Oprah Winfrey. So these deaths aren't coincidental just because the man was 95. He could have been in great health and lived another 5-10 years, even if that was the case. With that said, a great show, and it was beautiful. I love it. Sister Brooke, I hope I see you more often on the show. I'm not going to take too long because we're already over time. I'm going to pass it back to my sister Keisha. See y'all on the bridge next week. And I'll be between 145th Street and 149th Street uptown. Oh, excuse me, on the Brooklyn Bridge. Peace.
You said 149th Street on the Brooklyn Bridge?
This is why I love my brother, because you know,
between 149th and 145th Street. For those of y'all who know Harlem and the Bronx borders.
All right. See, I love my brother.
Where's my quan? We didn't give me one today, man.
Because we love you, brother. We's trying to spare your feelings. We got company today. We got company. But Black, I do want to say one thing real quick before I pass it back off to Sister Keisha. It ain't about other people being black. We recognize their blackness, but when we talking about this specific foundational Black American stuff, when we talk black, because the Puerto Ricans don't call themselves black, they call themselves Puerto Ricans. You're black.
I know some who do.
Right, but they black Puerto Rican. But everybody is on our court right now. Foundational Black Americans. We literally built this country with our blood, sweat, tears, and prayers. All right. So welcome to our home. So when we say black, we talking about foundational Black Americans. We're not denying nobody else's blackness. We're just saying they're not black like this.
Would they not like us fit the bill? Is what you saying?
Nothing.
Okay, so we need to thank Tariq Nasheed for this too.
No,
because hold on. He's the one that put it into a format where it became the issue that you brought up with Fat Joe and the movie and then on and on and on.
Real quick, because the point, Tariq Nasheed didn't bring it up. He just has a bigger voice and platform. That's all he did. Both my grandmothers, been having this conversation years ago about us being in this country. That's why me and Doggy did our whole lineage thing of a couple of months back, going back to, I know
it was beautiful.
18 up to the 1800s. And I had to let a couple of other brothers know because they keep talking that Africa stuff. Now, I'm not knocking Africa, not by the stretch of the imagination, but let's put it in this proper context. We've been free longer than African nations been nations. All right. So when they say Nigeria, there was no Nigeria in 1965. There was no Ghana.
Right.
In 1865, there was no, because the Berlin Conference of 1884 puts it 19 years later when they decided how they was going to carve Africa up. So even the places we call, that's what I keep talking about, this westernized thinking, philosophy, the language, it got us twisted. We talking about the loss of ancestors. We just lost Dr. Neely Fuller Jr., who wrote the compensatory code and conduct for thought, language, and speech. So we got to get the language right. So all we saying as Black people here in America, under this paradigm we exist in, we standing on our square. Sister Keisha, I'm sorry.
Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and comments.
Well, yeah, to echo my brother Tad and everyone, today was fabulous. It was a great discussion of great minds talking about bringing in progress for our people. And to echo my brother Tad, most of y'all weren't founded, and even if you were founded, even Jamaica didn't have its independence when Garvey is speaking. It may have been emancipated, but it was still under colonial rules. So let's
still is.
They still got the king on their money.
Absolutely. But they didn't, quote unquote, were gifted their independence in 1962 or 63. It was a gift. Nigeria was a gift. Ghana, it was a gift. Nobody warred for their independence. Black Americans warred for their independence. Haiti warred for its independence. Places that warred for victory are the places that are suffering the most. But let me calm down and say kindly, my brothers and sisters, this was a great show. And we really need to say topic forward if we really want to move the needle. Let's stop playing with these people that's talking about Democrat or Republican, yada, yada, yada. They're not putting food on your table. Mm-hmm. They are not helping you. They are out here to your demise. Again, I said it last week. They put in the Department of Education to put Black people in debt, Black women primarily, since they want to say, I don't believe these statistics, but they want to say Black women are the most educated and da 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 da. I want to see the statistics of where my men are, because my men are educated as well. And for them to sit there and say that Black women are the most educated, the most this and the most that, as a Black woman, I'm going to say we are also the most in debt. So let's talk about stuff the real way, or don't talk at all. With that said, may time flourish for us all, because it is ours. And if it may not flourish, fight with it and make it flourish. Sister Keisha, thank you.
Thank you, family. I tell you, boy, my family don't love me. I'm so sleepy. I am so sleepy. You guys have no idea. I'm gonna lay in the shower. I'm not even gonna stand. I'm laying in the shower because I'm so damn tired.
Don't drown in there. Don't drown.
That's
face down.
My descendants will be very well off if I did. But anyway, we thank you, each and every one of you, for coming out on the Brooklyn Bridge and rocking out with us each and every Thursday. Please like, subscribe, and share, and help educate your family members and your friends. Each one teach one. That's how we reach them. So also, don't forget Sunday to check out the OG Wisdom Podcast on YouTube with Brother C. Gutter and Tad. Please follow Brother Anunnaki, Melanin Institute.blogspot.com. Follow Sister as on Instagram and on X. You can follow Sister Marcia, Africans on the Rise, on Instagram and Facebook. Family, we are getting up out of here because I am tired. I want to see y'all there. Put it in your calendar. April 10th. You better show up or show out.
Come on, we need you.
Show up when the checks start handing out, because that's when I'm going to start embarrassing mother effers. You know what I mean? Stop letting other people fight your battles. But with that said, enjoy the rest of your week, family. We are out. Good night.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voice is strong, knowledge tight. Thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. going true. For the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they fly